when you get the diagnosis, it's pretty dark.
We cried for 2 days nonstop.
Mm,
Yeah, it was.
When you find a possibility in that darkness and it actually gets traction, it's no longer a darkness.
Welcome to Landmark Difference Makers, where we interview people making a remarkable difference around the world. Get ready to be inspired. Let's jump in.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for attending another episode of Landmark Difference Makers. Today, we're going to be interviewing Brian and Mariana Steelsmith, who are the founders of United Rocks. It's a nonprofit that's redefining inclusion, confidence, and community through the unlikely vehicle of indoor rock climbing. What began as a way to support their son Jake, who has grown into a nationwide movement that empowers individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities to build strength, self-esteem, and connection one climb at a time. The Steelsmiths are not just creating athletes, they're cultivating leaders, shifting paradigms, and building a world where everyone's recognized for their unique greatness. I really, really thank you for being here. It's just really, I've been looking forward to this for several days now, and it's just great to finally be with you together.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us tonight. We're honored to be here.
Thank you.
Well, why don't we just start right away with, what is United Rocks?
Um, so United Rocks is a rock climbing team for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We started, 2021, as an idea to get our son Jake more physically active. After about 6 weeks of practicing on a regular basis with an idea we would have a team in one location, we were overwhelmed with
The amount of people that show up and keep reminding us that this was such a great idea, that this was what they were looking for their families, their kids, their support. Um, the amount of volunteers that help us just in the 1 year of 2022 that we started in just the North Dallas location in Plano, in Texas. It was just
about 120 people
incredible,
showed up.
incredible. So
Yeah.
it just exploded in just 1 year. It was like, wow, okay, this is real. It's a reality now, So we just like keep growing and keep doing more things.
Well, how did it happen that you made the commitment to grow this into something that's now a national movement? I mean, you started out just wanting physical activity for your son.
Yeah, so it was so the gyms that we started here there, it was just a small chain of 5 gyms in Dallas, and a big chain bought them called Movement Gyms, and now that's the biggest chain of gyms in the US right now. So they basically gave us a green card to go to wherever gym location we wanted to go. So we started here with 3 locations in Dallas, and then we started at what's the next one? Colorado. There was another gym in Colorado that somebody stopped by one time that they were traveling, and they say, "Hey, I talked to the GM. Here's their information. Reach out." So we reached out there and started the program there, and then somebody else went to another gym in another state. And it was like, "Start on this one," and we had the connection. We started the conversation, and we just go and do it, and just it just
So,
spread so quickly.
so for instance, we were one of our climbers and her mother went to oh, wait a minute. One of our climbers, his mother went to an event. It was an all ladies event. And in that event, they met the owner of a gym company in Santa Ana, California. And this was mother daughter event. So there was no special needs, no
Yeah,
community, nothing going on. But they shared what we had started. Well, that gym owner said, "Come on, let's go."
I want to hear about it. So I flew in, and this was September 22. I flew in into Santa Ana, California. I had a conversation with them, and in January of the next year, we had the expansion event, and we just started practices this past July, and
So
that's how it just
what
went.
else is really interesting about that is the Cinder One Gym Company in Los Angeles has been commissioned for the 2028 World Olympics. And so it was already a foot in for the Special Olympics by being able to start that gym as practice.
Mm.
So, aside from that practice, that took another 2 years to even start practice at that gym gave us another opening.
Yeah, now that gym has 5 locations in California. So she said, "Well, why don't you go check out this location that we just opened? Maybe you can have your program there too." So when we're there, we just went and see it, and okay, let's start this. Let's start talking about this for next year. So yeah.
It really seems like you tapped into something you didn't expect.
Hmm.
And
Totally. 100%.
well, I'm curious, what do you think it is about rock climbing in particular? I mean, the Special Olympics has been around a long time. Rock climbing has been around a long time, but it seems like there's something in particular about rock climbing for people with, you know, cognitive challenges that is a new and not seen before opportunity. What is that?
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
I think that what I noticed about Jake, for instance, was immediately he was climbing before he was walking.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I know that I like to climb. All kids, they like to climb. And so when we get them started at climbing at a young age, it's like just the beginning process. Now, some of our climbers have physical difficulties. I don't know why I struggled for that. Anyway, they have physical difficulties that don't seem to apply on the rock wall.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they seem to be able to climb better than walk.
Yeah.
And so,
And
oh, go ahead.
yeah, and I'm thinking, well, if you know anything about climbing, right? There's different disciplines that they practice. Uh, One is top rope, is the one that we practice, which is with the harness and the rope, and we have the person that pulls the rope is the belayer, and then the climber with the rope, right, and the harness. So that's the only one that we practice just to keep them safe. And then
Jake,
Jake,
please go ahead.
and then so we practice that discipline, and it seems that whenever they're like suspended, I guess suspended in the air, just holding the holes and putting their feet in the wall, it's easier than just to be on a solid ground, I guess, if you want to call it that way, right?
Uh,
And also too, it's we've seen so many benefits, not just with individuals with disabilities, but just for everybody in general, right? Besides being a full body workout, it also helps with balance and focus and problem solving, and besides the social skills of communicating and following directions and all, waiting for your turn. That's a lot of
it's a real
different
big,
benefits.
a huge game in the world of trust,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and that for the climbers we work with, that is a huge step to trust that not only are you not going to fall, but that somebody else is going to manage
Hmm.
your belay rope.
Yeah, with that we're creating the independence for the climbers, right? Because we encourage the parents to walk away and take a break while we're taking care of their kids, because some of the parents with kids with special needs, they're like, they want to be
Helicopter.
all the time there, and I was like, okay, we created this for you guys, take a break too, so just go take a break. And we encourage them to just step away for a minute, let us handle this, we got it. So
One of the things you know, obviously, you know, when somebody discovers that their child's going to have a challenge their whole lifetime, you know, cognitive disability, whatever it may be, the instinct as a parent is to be really, really protective.
yep.
And
It's
I'd
tough.
imagine that um, in that desire to be protective, there's the hazard of actually limiting what's possible for your child as they grow.
Yes.
How do you find um, United Rocks addresses that for the climbers and the families?
I think just creating the safe space and the community that they feel comfortable with it, and just trust the volunteers that they're gonna work with their child, with their adult, and just be okay with it. And we encourage the parents just to like let them grow, let them let them try, because some of the parents, they just come for the first time, and after the kid or the adult puts the shoes on and the harness, which is not the most comfortable thing in the world, and some of them have sensory issues, and they strap in, they start climbing, they climb all the way to the top, and we turn around to the parent, are you sure they never climbed before? And I was like, yeah, they never climbed before, and they're in tears, seeing the kid
Ah.
climbing all the way to the top. And I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. So
So
um,
you're not just making a difference with the climbers.
Oh
no,
heavens!
everybody. I mean, it's just like, it's the it's the climbers, the parents, the volunteers that they're helping us, the gym staff that they see us every week, the school that they see the kid at school after, or daycare, or wherever they go, right, for to learn. Their teachers see the difference. Their therapist, everybody. It's just like, what you guys are doing? What are you doing? What's different? And then
So
yeah.
we we even have situations where I put the parents on the wall, because if the parents are climbing, the kids are following. And when a parent climbs for the first time, um, they're hooked,
Mm.
because now they have a sport they can play with their kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a family event, because we don't exclude the siblings. If they don't have a disability, they can climb too. So everybody comes on Sundays or wherever the day of practice is, right? They come, and they just like, they climb. Even parents, they learn how to belay so they can climb with their climbers too that day, or their spouse. So
It's
Mm.
it's grown pretty
it's
pretty
pretty
amazing.
amazing to consider that the volunteers get so much out of it, that we've clocked over 50,000 volunteer hours in 3 years.
Yeah. But you guys got moved, I got moved. I mean, it's really uh, just thinking about all those people, the parents, the families, the staff at the gyms, something opening up that they didn't expect.
Mhm.
How, if you were to try to describe what opens up for the community of people around this, how would you describe it?
They never, this is a huge bridge. Many of the people that we climb with, and many of the people that work with United Rocks, would have never seen the other side of the bridge. Like, they just would have never known that this even existed. And now they're sitting inside of a gym in complete awe of the spectacle of what it looks like, let alone when their child climbs on the wall for the first time and says, I'm going to do this. I mean, we have a 20-year-old gentleman with Down syndrome who's not, for lack of a better way to say it, he's quite obese, but this boy's killing it. I mean, to put it real simple, he's knocking it out.
Hmm.
He would have never seen it.
Yeah.
Excited about it. He goes every day with every practice with a smile. He lost a lot of weight too since he started, so that's
It's a
pretty
huge
great.
bridge, man.
It's his space with his dad. Like mom never shows up, because when we interviewed her one time to do a testimonial with her, she goes, "Yeah, I don't even come to the practices because that's his dad's with him."
Hmm.
So I'm like out of it. So it's it just created different things for different families. So it's great to see the growth and development, the successes. Eh, I mean, it's just speechless, I guess.
Speechless.
Yeah.
Now, you have an older son
Mhm.
that you shared with me was a very successful rock climber when he was younger.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, Well, I just love to hear his role and how he participates with this, but
Oh
also just how, how people that are really skilled at rock climbing, because it is an Olympic sport,
yeah.
how they react to this.
Yeah, he was part of the inspiration for this dream to come true because he was competing and climbing for 8 years, and that's how we got introduced with the climbing community and just the environment, the vibe, the people, the welcoming, the support. It was amazing. We loved it, and he was part of it, and the other part of it was Jake with was he has Down syndrome, so that was basically how we started the organization. And um yeah, it's when he was climbing, we were like going to competitions and seeing him compete and climb. And just to give you an idea how strong he was, show off one day, he, how the door frame has a little edge that you can just put your, like, not even your
The trim.
knuckle,
One knuckle.
the
Yep.
first little inch of your, well, I don't know how,
Finger.
finger.
Yep.
And then he just do a pull up like that, like nothing. I'm like, dude, really?
So
it
Team
was it
Texas
was
is the number
impressive.
one youth climbing sport in the sport
Climbing
of
team.
indoor climbing.
Yeah.
For basically 8 years, he was on that competitive team,
Mhm.
and it traveled us from anywhere from Arizona to Atlanta for competitions. And then every summer they'd have special events going on, and what we saw was this was an excellent opportunity for Jake, and how could we create it so that people like him could have the same thing. So we just started 2 weekends ago. We just started outdoor climbing with our team because ultimately we want to take them outdoor. We want to get them every bit as experienced in climbing as anybody else. But then on top of it, living in a city, I'm sure you all know you can't just go outside and play in the mountains, and hiking and camping and all of that is part of what fulfills a life. So it was a double fold to create it in that direction as well.
Um, do you have any of the people from and you have to educate me on what the term would be to use. Um, the the competitive climbing community around the world is huge
Yes,
among able-bodied people. Um, how do they participate and intersect with United Rocks?
they volunteer. They love it. One of the things that I would share with you is, um, if you're watching the pictures, you'll see Alex Honnold. He's one of the number one climbers in the world. He actually endorses us.
Wait,
Tony
you're Alex Honnold of um, uh, El Capitan and
Yep, he is the guy who did the movie Solo, where he climbed El Capitan in a few hours solo with no rope. Um, so he knows United Rocks personally. We know him. Right along with there was a TV series called The Climb, and that's on HBO. Gabriel was trained by one of the climbers in The Climb, who, yeah, it's like the network of climbers has been the support system that got us started. For instance, our first two primary coaches were climbers on Gabriel's team in the youth climbing sport. They stayed on climbing teams as they graduated from high school and moved on, and they became the coaches for Team Texas. So when they volunteered for Team Texas, it was like, we're going to write your program, but we're going to tweak it a little bit for the kids with special needs. And it took really well. So
what is the status of rock climbing within the Special Olympics? It was not that long ago that it entered the Olympics itself.
it
Yeah,
hasn't
they
come yet.
they don't have it on Special Olympics yet. We're working on it.
They told us to build a team, and we said, okay, we will. And here we are.
It seems like that you fulfilled that.
Yeah.
Um,
So
it, are
June
there
of
considerations that they have regarding that, or is it?
Yes. So June of next year, we're going to go to the Twin Cities, Minnesota. so that we can participate in the Special Olympics. There's a catch 22. The caveat to this is going to be that they have not invited United Rocks to be the exhibition there. We don't know who is, but apparently there's going to be an exhibition for rock climbing
Mm.
at the 2026 Olympics in Minnesota. But we're still formulating it. We have a couple of students that are with Louisville, Kentucky College that are writing their capstone project. Oh, excuse me, St. Louis. They're writing a capstone project to assist us in formulating the rules for the Special Olympics. Another caveat to that, in the Paralympics, it states that intellectual disabilities can apply. Though nobody has done it, it's a bridge that we're working on crossing, because I have climbers in my field that can climb better than some of the climbers with physical disabilities. And so we've got, there's some gray area there we're working with right now.
I'm wondering if we might have a chance to meet Alex.
Alex Hano? He shows up.
Alex, excuse me. Your son. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Jake, our son.
I still
Sorry,
have
that's
Free
okay.
Solo on my mind.
Yeah, that's okay. That movie was good.
Come here, say hi.
Or documentary, or however you want
Say
to
hi
call
to
it.
everybody.
This is Jake here.
Jake, how are you, buddy?
Say hi.
You got a bunch of friends here.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you. So what about the social aspects of this for people within the community that Jake finds himself part of?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Jake, every time we go to a practice, everybody knows Jake, of course. But then besides that, is every climber. Okay. Every climber, creates a, because sometimes it's hard for them to make friends at school because of, they're nonverbal, or they're hard of hearing, or they're visually impaired, things like that, right? So it's hard for them to make friends. So when they go climbing and they're in the community on Sundays with the climbing, with the volunteers, they create friends. It's their community, it's their family. So that's what they hold on.
We hold another event called a Climb Fest, and we bring all 5 gyms here in Dallas together. So they're actually getting to know each other within the gyms in the DFW area as it is. So the Climb Fest will be once a year, where the city local teams will get together and hold one. We call it a competition, but many of the kids don't want to compete or let it be called a competition. So it's a Climb Fest.
And is there, in your view, a reason or a why somebody would want to call it a fest as opposed to a competition?
So we've come to find out that many of the kids don't want to compete. Yeah, many of the climbers are like, I don't want to compete, because the idea of competing is I have to work hard at it.
It's scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I actually learned something having a child with special needs myself. Was there's a question that you might want to answer. For you and me, it wouldn't be a question, but for a child with special needs, the question is, why do I want to climb that? Or why do I want to do this? Or what we might look at it as, what do we get out of it? And they're like, why do I want to climb that? There's nothing up there for me. And if that's the question that's in their mind all the time, then it would be difficult to do anything. And yet we can still get them to go after the worm that we put on the hold above it. So we have these little silicone worms that are about this long, and they're brightly colored, and we'll hang them up over the holds so that they go and climb and they get the worms off of the hold. And that's the why.
Well, one of the things that, a lot of people these days have tried rock climbing, indoor rock climbing. It's, pretty readily available for most people.
Yes.
when people doing it for the first time, there's a sense of elation and accomplishment and,
Mhm.
really kind of a shift in one's view of oneself that is available in that. And I'm wondering how that
So,
expresses itself with people with special needs.
I didn't want to talk about that.
sorry, I just got sidetracked. The picture just previous to this one was the one gentleman that I would share that whole why conversation with, which is also
Mm,
leading into what you just asked. So I'll
The
just tell you an idea. He's a 22-year-old. He was born with an umbilical cord around his neck, and they call it a traumatic brain injury. The first two practices, all I could do is stretch him against the wall. The reason being is his posture is always poor.
mm,
So in his world, yeah, this gentleman right here in the middle, his name's Adam.
when
In the
he,
beginning,
when he first started, he was difficult walking, a little bit crunched down. So we started like, okay, stretch, Adam, stretch. So we like what a
I stretched him against the wall for
couple
quite a while.
months, and then we started climbing a little bit, and then he needed probably five, two,
He had
two,
five
five,
belayers.
five volunteers working with him
Right.
in a 20 feet wall, and then fast forward, now he climbs a 60 feet wall by himself.
mm,
So yeah.
So the look on his face here and the people that are with him. So our shirts for volunteers are orange. And just this picture tells you his community.
Yeah,
mm,
he's the confidence, the proud moment, the community, like he enters the gym like, you know like, yes, I'm gonna
With
see my
intention.
friends, I'm gonna climb hard. uh yeah, they accomplish a lot of the confidence and the being proud of themselves when they reach that level.
What do you think? What do you think? Somebody who's doesn't have a connection to this community um, misses, or in their kind of preconceptions or assumptions, misses about what you just described. That's a very relatable human
Yeah.
Experience.
experience you're describing him having, connecting with people, forming a
Hmm.
community, and belonging.
Hmm. Yeah, most people that
I think we
they
overlook it.
they haven't they never deal or know anybody with a disability, they're they're afraid. They don't know how to talk to them. They don't know how to look at them. They don't know how to interact with them. So we we train our volunteers just to be the opposite. Just talk to them. They're person. There's it's a person. Talk to them. It's just it's the same thing as you and me. It's just they learn different. That's another story. So they will learn different. They will be a little bit slower than us, or they won't speak like us, or they're different. Everybody's different. So it just, yeah.
Mm. Were you going to add something to that, Brian?
No, I'm good. I'm just dancing. I'm just dancing. It's really amazing. There's this gentleman that started. He came to all of our gyms right now are on a waiting list.
Yeah.
So we were able
Yeah.
to squeak him in on a Sunday, where Mariana and I showed up to one of our local gyms to climb with him, and I'm just really touched. He's about 15 years old, and the first time he got 2 feet off the wall, he's just screaming out to everybody, "I'm climbing! I'm climbing!"
Yeah.
We overlook this. We overlook the humanity that, yeah,
Sorry.
Mm.
yeah. We
Um,
just move on day in and day out like it's the way it is, and for these guys to make such huge steps like that is completely something we overlook.
what does the future of
Thank you.
United Rocks look like for you?
For me, I'm the chauffeur. I don't want to be a part of the actual nonprofit business. I have a story in my head that old men working with young kids never looks good. So I kind of stay in the back and I'm the chauffeur. Now, Mariana's got the goals set at such a way that we're going to be in the southern half of the country no matter how it plays out. We'd like to have United Rocks at every gym that's available. We also get that it's probably not possible. Now, it's a nonprofit and it's run only by the volunteers. We need 3 board members at each one of the gyms to keep the program alive. And on a volunteer basis, you get what you put into it. And for that being said, it's kind of up to the community. Mariana's spread pretty thin. She wants to open up 8 gyms next year. And what that looks like is every weekend she's going to have to fly into whatever gym that is to get it established and then let it go. Essentially, it's an SELP project on steroids. You have to formulate it, walk into it, love it, and then let it go. And it's at every gym.
You mentioned SELP, and of course, the commonality in this podcast is people have participated in landmark programs. And I did want to ask you, as you've dealt with the challenges of this, as you've, grown this, as you've beheld it as it's grown, how has your participation in landmark played a role?
Wow. That's a good question. I think if being in action is the first one, right? So there's no going back, and it's a huge part of it because
I just want to say expansion. Yeah, like expanding who we are on a moment by moment basis. Like not listening to the noise in our head about not being good enough to do something is allowing us to expand. And that distinction is purely landmark. It would have never come any other way. We can't see it any other way.
Yeah, and putting myself out of the picture all the time. Every time it's in my face, I have to put myself outside because it's for the kids. It's for them. It's not about me. It's not about him. It's about them. So every time I see that, and that wouldn't be possible without, this education.
Well, what you're pointing to is that, our own sense of ourselves or however we relate to ourselves, however our identity is, we often can't picture ourselves in that place doing something big like that. But what I hear is the possibility, the impact that it has for Jake, the impact it has for all those parents gives you a permission you wouldn't give yourself.
Well, it's definitely not something we're a part of as Mariana and Brian.
Yeah, it's not the Steelsmith anymore. It's United Rocks. It's a nationwide nationwide organization, and we're just a tiny part of it at this point. It's like we're like this big.
So it's also got my last course with Landmark was Team 2, so I'm a TMLP graduate as well. I participated for about 12 years, and the distinctions run deep when you spend a lot of time just trying to build in the world of possibility. That's what created all of it.
Well, that makes a great segue to a question that we always like to ask as we end these interviews. And 100 years goes by really fast, and
it does.
Blink of an eye. And 100 years from now, nobody who's participating in this conversation or listening to it while it's happening will be around, or at least they won't. None of them will remember it if they were. Well, my question for you is, what do you want people to say about you when you're no longer here?
Nothing. I
Well,
want Jake to be known.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So when you get the diagnosis, it's pretty dark.
We cried for 2 days nonstop.
Mm.
Yeah, it was.
When you find a possibility in that darkness and it actually gets traction, it's no longer a darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really clear. No, it's very clear, and I really thank you and appreciate and acknowledge the possibility that you've built through this.
Thank you.
And the difference it's making for families and for climbers and for the rest of us.
Thank you.
Really a privilege to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Landmark Difference Makers. If you're inspired by what you heard and you want to learn more about Landmark's programs or explore upcoming episodes, visit landmarkforumnews.com to find resources, event details, and more stories of people making extraordinary impact around the globe. If you are already a part of the Landmark community, check out the Landmark subscription, designed to provide ongoing support in creating a life you love. Visit landmarkworldwide.com to learn more. Until next time, keep creating, keep contributing, and keep making a difference.